Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. Please give us that 5-star review. Subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. Follow us on Facebook, BJ and Bill, the podcast. And you can always email us, BJ and Bill, the podcast at gmail.com. As we welcome you to episode 159.
Unbelievable.
The numbers just keep shooting up.
Even more unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to take a moment to pause to just give thanks that BJ Odom is with us this morning. He was texting me yesterday through the course of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football game on how many different ways this team was out to kill him.
I think that they are done with all of their, they want a whole new fan base, and they just
new fan base.
Let's just kill off all the fan base we have now, and we'll start from scratch.
Give them all heart attacks, all cardiacs.
We're going.
But you weren't alone. But go ahead.
Well, first of all, the game started really rough.
Yes.
And then, as we go into the fourth quarter, I'm ready to, relax, put my feet up and call it a day. All right, the Bucs, I think they're going to win this thing without giving me a heart attack.
Yes.
And then they go, not so fast, young man.
Had a field goal blocked with about 50 seconds. Was it less than? Was it? No, it was about 2 minutes, wasn't it? It was.
I don't know if it was 2 minutes. It was like 1:46.
It might have been. Yeah, that's about right. It's about right. So yeah, we're cruising. We're heading down the field. Kick the field goal. Put it out of reach. Oh no! Wait, look! Block the field goal attempt and run it back for a touchdown. Are you kidding me?
And then you're down by one.
I don't know about yours, but there was screaming in this house.
Oh, there was screaming and cursing and
yes.
You know what though? I have found the secret.
Tell me.
I get up cursing. The wife and I were planning, on doing a little dinner together after the game.
Right.
So I just got up screaming and shouting and saying words that should never be said out loud. And I go, to get, my billfold and, everything all ready. Just let's just get out of the house.
Right.
All of a sudden my wife goes, oh my God. And I come back in here and I'm going, oh my God. And so then, I sit down and watch probably the last 25 seconds of the game. And I go, oh my God. I said, I don't even know if we can go out to eat. I may be, my heart rate is so high. We may have to go to the hospital.
Why do you watch? Because you think it's going to be a nice, calm, normal game. I understand. You do. You think it's going to be normal. It's going to be calm. It's going to be fine. We're cruising. It's okay. In the immortal words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend.
I am really, because I probably for the hour before we started the podcast today, I watched a little bit of not First Take, because First Take comes on because we don't start recording till 10 o'clock.
Right.
First Take comes on at 10. So I watched a little Greeny and what's his show, whatever it is, Wake Up or.
Yeah, with Greeny. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm watching that. And I watched for about an hour. They talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, how they used to be the comeback kings and all that. And they go on and on and on and on and on. And then they were, debating on, are they getting better? Okay. All right. So I have to hear that. Then I hear another couple things. And then I hear even your Browns. They talk, and I'm thinking, hey, we're talking about comebacks from behind. We've had 3 games already this season where a quarterback has come from behind. And you haven't said squat diddly about him. I don't even think you know anything about football, ESPN.
I sent you the text last. I mean, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I'm on Twitter a lot. X, Twitter X, whatever you call it. There is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan club on X that it's like. So it's official. By the way, it's official. It is now 2 Minute Mayfield. It's 2 Minute Mayfield. Sorry, or 2 Minute Tampa, but we like 2 Minute Mayfield better. So yeah,
Hey, come on.
it's incredible. It's
I
incredible.
always say if you can't give her 3 minutes, you might as well not give her nothing at all.
2 Minute Mayfield. Somewhere his wife is going, maybe not. Yeah, no, that's hilarious.
One more thing.
One more thing. What do you like, Columbo? One more thing.
Yeah, one more thing here I want to talk about. So, I'm getting my heart back into, regular rhythm.
Yes.
And we're ready to go to the restaurant.
Yes.
I've got because, we have decided, I have decided I won't let my wife, she's been wearing the creamsicle jersey and the creamsicle hat.
Okay.
And I've been wearing the red jersey with the red hat.
Okay.
For every game for the last 3 weeks. Nothing has been washed. So we're going to the restaurant. We both have our jerseys. We both
unwashed.
have our unwashed jersey for 3 weeks. We're starting to smell.
Good.
And we're leaving, and I'm not even noticing, probably because my heart is in such bad shape from the game.
Right.
We get to the restaurant. We get out of the car. We walk into the restaurant, and as soon as we walk into the restaurant, I'm very kind of like, oh, what's this guy talking about? He goes, sorry for the loss. That was a good game, though. I go, what's wrong with this idiot? And then, but
wait, there's more.
And then I look up at my wife, and I notice she's not wearing the creamsicle cap. She's wearing a New York Jets hat. And a Baker Mayfield jersey in public.
That's kind of mixed signals, isn't it?
I know.
What's up with that?
She's a Jersey girl, and
right.
Her brother, which is her twin brother, is a big Jets fan.
Okay.
And so she has a hat and she has a jersey.
Right.
And she wore the hat out. I almost killed her. She is so lucky she is still married to this wonderful man, because I was all ready to go. All right, that's it. We've been together for almost 40 years, but this crosses a line.
It kind of does. I mean, how can you wear? I mean, it wouldn't be so bad except the two teams were playing that day. I mean, we're playing the Jets.
And you know what?
Wearing a Jets hat. That doesn't make sense.
And she did tease, though, also, in the beginning of the game, when the game was sucking so bad, she goes, maybe I should just go put on my Jets jersey. And I go, you do, you are dead.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Maybe that's why the game was so tight. Maybe deep down,
she was
even though she
Jets
had on the
down.
creamsicle jersey and the creamsicle hat, she may have had other thoughts going through her head.
You may have to do some coaching on that later on. You just might. That's hilarious. So, in case you've been unconscious for the past few days, it was kind of a wild and crazy weekend football-wise. Not so much in college, but it definitely was in the pros. Yeah, now, I will say,
college football,
course,
it's
what's
done
that?
In this college football is over already in this household.
Well, if you're a Gator fan, it's over. If
you're a Purdue fan,
I see. That's right. You're a Purdue fan. I forgot about that.
Purdue and Gators. I have a new team right now.
Tell me.
Oh, good old Rocky Top.
Oh, Tennessee.
Top Tennessee.
Yeah. They're fun to watch. I get it. We had, of course, here in this house, huge FSU fan, huge Seminole fan. This weekend they played another school from the same division that my school was from, that Ohio University, the MAC, Mid-America Conference. It's like high school kids. So Ohio State played my alma mater, Ohio University. Of course, wiped the floor with them. Saturday, excuse me, Florida State played Kent State, which is in the same division with my school. A little community. I'm not going to say it's a community college. It's a good college. It's a great college. It just has no tradition of athletic programs. There are very few. So FSU was I'm not making this up. Florida State was a 44.5 point favorite.
Did they hit
And my
the
lady
spread?
friend says, "You want to bet?" I says, "You got to give me 45." She goes, "Okay." And they didn't cover. They didn't cover 45.
I would
Oh
like to.
my God.
I would like to ask, but I'm not going to because this is somewhat of a family
Oh, you
podcast.
mean what the bet was?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no.
What was the bet?
The bet? It was just $1. It was just real money. It was $1. It was.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have went for
in
the
fact,
gusto.
Yeah, I know. I, in fact, took $1 from her last weekend, and it's been on a fridge magnet in my kitchen all week, and so she reclaimed it this weekend. So that was that. That's the story. So that was college football. And then, of course, the Gators just... What am I going to say? I don't...
There's not a whole lot to say about the Gators.
There's not a whole lot to say.
Not a whole lot to say about the Boilermakers.
Yeah, no.
And like I said, I don't think Tennessee will win the whole thing, but that's at least I feel like if I turn on the TV on a Saturday and watch a Tennessee game, I have a chance.
You have a game you can watch and enjoy. I get it. So there you go. So yeah, so college football kind of crazy. But and then the NFL yesterday, OMG. It was just insane. I mean, so many weird endings. Now, for us here in Florida, of course, as we know, we've been talking about it all morning. Our Bucks beat the Jets just barely. But again, 2-minute Mayfield comes through again. It was a thing of beauty to watch. Jacksonville beat Houston. A little bit of an upset there. Jaguars beat Houston 17-10. That was clever, cute, whatever. And my Cleveland Browns beat the Green Bay Packers by the way, the final on that one. Again, another last second field goal, 13-10 on that one. If you've watched or heard Colin Cowherd, who's one of the sports talk show guys I follow and enjoy, he has this top 10 list that he does every week called the Herd Hierarchy. And shout out to Colin Cowherd. He's had Green Bay at number 1 this week. And for them to get beat by the Browns is just so sweet. So anyway, it's going to be an interesting week of armchair quarterbacking.
I think my daughter, well, I say, your daughter a lot of times marries they're not married, they're dating, but, finds a gentleman that's a lot like her dad.
Probably.
And I think he's kind of like me when it comes to sports because he did. I don't even know if he saw the victory. I mean, he heard about it, but I think he's over the Browns at this point. He starts watching the game and then he goes, I just can't watch anymore. And he goes on to do other things.
That's pretty much what Browns fans have been saying for 40 years. It's terrible. It's just, they're so bad. It's statistically almost impossible to be as bad as they have been, but hey, whatever. Whatever.
Well, like I said, I haven't watched a whole lot of, the sports yet today, but I did watch a whole hour. And it seems like the big story is Kansas City over or does Kansas City still have a chance? And of course, the argument was some saying, oh, they still got a chance. They still got Mahomes. They still got, yeah. And they got other, players, I guess, that's out sick. So they're still in it. And then there's others yelling, no, they're done. They're toast. They're not going to do anything when you see what's
they beat the Giants last night. Big deal. I mean, the Giants are 0-3. Great. Well, I mean, going into the game, they were both 0-2. So it's like somebody had to win. But Kansas City, I don't see it with Kansas City anymore. Yeah, they got Mahomes. Yes, he's a genius. I get it. But even he doesn't look as sharp as he used to. So I don't know. I'm not a big Kansas City fan. I'll watch. Of course, they're entertaining. But other than that, I'm locked in on those Buccaneers.
Well, most of the time I was locked in on the station playing the Buccaneers, but I did every now and again, and I love it. I had to, jump over, especially if there was like a commercial or halftime was awesome. Because instead of watching the halftime show, I just flipped it over to the red zone and, really had a good time.
So that's the thing now. I guess I'll have to look into the red zone.
And I'll tell you, 'cause I know it will happen. I don't know when. I haven't really looked at the schedule, but I know there was like 2 or 3 games last year where I did not get to see the Buccaneers play.
Yes.
Because of just scheduling, and they put another team in there. So I know on those particular weeks, if I'm still alive, on those particular weeks, that the red zone will be the only thing that I watch during,
and that's
football time period.
That gets you the best. That gets you kind of the cream of the game anyway. That's what you want to see. You want to see in the red zone. So there you go. Cool for you. So anyway, that's our kind of football roundup for the weekend there. It was interesting and exciting and kind of fun and cool. If you were a football fan, now I shouldn't say it depends on, of course, if you have a college team, your college team, who knows? There's so many out there, but still, it was a good weekend. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Just wanted to get that little break in there as we kind of move on to other things here, as we go. So other than that, what's going on for you?
Not much. Still not there yet. But we are like, it's like when they come out to measure for a first down, that's how close we are to you being able to go to Amazon and either, ordering my book through, Kindle.
Yep.
You can get the Kindle version.
Of course.
I don't want to say this because I don't want people to save money, but you'll be able to get the Kindle version for $4.99, which I think it still should be $100. But no, you'll be able to get it for $4.99. And then if you want the book with the cover that is still, as we speak, being narrowed in and designed, which should be done any moment now.
Okay.
I know I'm not going to talk. I'm just not going to say nothing. Okay, I got to.
Why not?
Something. Now I got.
You don't want to jinx it?
Yeah, well, the wife got involved.
Wait. I'm leaning in on this one. The wife got involved on the what? The book cover design?
Yeah, because on the back there's some pictures.
Of course.
And there's probably, 5 pictures of me throughout my lifetime.
Cool.
She had some ideas.
She had some ideas. Don't whisper, damn it. We can't hear you.
Well,
she had some.
I don't want her on the other.
She's right in the other room. I know.
Storming in going, what are you doing talking about me? So she's the one that wore the damn Jets hat yesterday.
I know. Jets hat. I know. So what's going on? Can you at least spill a little bit now that you've whet our appetite?
Oh no, there's like 5 pictures on the back of the book.
I get it.
And one of them is me in a studio. Actually, a couple of them are me in a studio.
Sure.
One of them is me and my wife. I don't know how that got on there, but somehow there's me and my wife. And then there's, just some pictures throughout my life. And well, she had some ideas of some better pictures.
Were they really better, or were they just things that she liked better?
I don't.
He's gonna keep his butt out of trouble and not tell us.
But hopefully that will be all secured and up for consumption.
Okay.
And we did come up with a book title. It is definitely, the book title that we said.
Okay.
So, you can start going to Amazon, but you won't be able to purchase it, at least not today or tomorrow, probably. Or, well, for the next at least 2 or 3 days.
if I do a search for BJ Odom on Amazon, will I find you have an author page or do
I
you
do
have a
have an author
pre-sale
page.
page?
I do have an author page, but I've got to get with them yet because I don't understand this, but they need to know that I am me, and I need to send them a, photo ID
Right.
so they
Well,
know
they
it's
don't want
me.
somebody, they wouldn't want you claiming to be like Hemingway or something like that. He's been dead for a while, but never mind. You get the point. You know, Dan Brown or something, the Da Vinci Code. Yes, I wrote no, Bill, you didn't write the Da Vinci Code. So, so I get that. Yes, they want to establish who you are so they don't have any, knockoff.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there, there's a knockoff BJ Odom.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal his book. I'm gonna write it, and then it's all gonna be fiction, and people are gonna think he's a little son of a bitch.
Good luck with that. Good luck with
So,
that.
so yes, more
Okay.
parts than a chicken nugget.
More herp. The BJ Odom story. That'll look great on a movie marquee.
It's I can't even hardly say this hard word, but it's my memoir.
It's a memoir. Yeah, it really is. I mean, you had help writing it, obviously, but it is your memoir. Yes, that's kind of famous.
And right on the cover, it will say written by B.J. Odom and Christina Metcalf.
Good. That's good because we know who did the heavy lifting with that one for sure.
But I spent hours sending her stories.
I know you did. I mean, we're not joking about that. I know how the process works. I've talked to other people who do the same kind of thing, ghostwriter, call it whatever you want, co-author, etc. I knew a lady when we were doing the Fort Myers thing when we were back in Southwest Florida. One of my clients, when I had my little computer business on the side, one of the clients that I had was a lady who did exactly what Christina does. She would talk to people, interview them, write their stories, and the whole thing. So that's very cool. That's very cool. So, but yes, they do most of heavy lifting, and that's
And
why they
here's
get
what
paid nicely.
you folks that enjoyed BJ and Bill and BJ Odom throughout the years before I even met Bill, on the radio. Every chapter is a song title.
I think that's awesome. I really do, and I look forward to seeing how that works. Give us one. Can you give us one?
Um, I'll tell you what. Well, tell me what kind of chapter you want.
Well, I mean, the obvious one is
Here,
your early days when you were like in high school and trying to be in a band and all that sort of thing.
well, one of them. Let's just say this. I'll give you one. So I'm going to throw a country one out at you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It talks about a young boy raised on a farm who
That would
found
be
out,
you.
he had health difficulties,
That would
and
be
the
you.
chapter, and it's kind of like the opening chapter. A country boy can survive.
Country boy can survive. And who did the
Hank
song?
Williams Jr.
Did not know that, but okay. Hank Williams Jr. Good.
Now, my brother, which you knew my
Of
brother
course I
well,
knew Mick. Yes.
when I was a little whippersnapper, because he was 8 years older than I was,
Yes.
he goes off to fight in Vietnam.
Yes.
So the title of because there's a chapter about that war.
Oh, I
Edwin
love that.
Starr.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. So
What is it good for? Absolutely
yeah, yeah,
nothing.
yeah. So
Yeah,
the
perfect.
war is the title of that chapter.
Oh, 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 oh.
What is it? Someone
My
wanting to
phone
buy
started
my book?
ringing. My phone never
Oh,
rings.
I thought maybe it was somebody who wanted to buy my book.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Who knew? Who knew? Let me put it into do not disturb mode here. I never think to do that because my phone never rings. That's funny. Interesting. Oh well. So anyway, war is good. I love that. That's cool.
And so
Oh,
yeah, it's I don't know. There's about eight. I don't know how many chapters there are for sure. There's about 18 to 22 chapters somewhere in that vicinity.
very cool.
I think the page count's 164.
Of course, on a Kindle, who cares? It's all digital. So, but that's cool. That's cool. And so going to be for sale soon. And Are you making plans? The important thing is the book tour. I'm telling you. Or when are we doing the book tour here? Come on.
I want to do it, and I'm trying to figure out, logistics, obviously.
Right.
But our friend Kristen, who was one time a contestant on the Bachelorette,
Yes.
she's got like three kids books out now,
Kids
children's
books.
books.
Yes.
And so we had a long conversation last week, and she is really into the signing thing, going to like Barnes and Nobles
Sure.
in Naples, the Barnes and Nobles in Fort Myers,
Absolutely.
and we'll take in, a stack of books, and she actually, though, she will go in during the children's, like did with the schools with Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Mm-hmm.
She like reads the book, and then she can sign copies, and she does that too, and that's
I
been pretty
remember
successful for
way,
her.
way back in the day, we knew a lady who did that, who was like the coordinator, excuse me, the coordinator for like, I don't know if it was Barnes and Noble or Borders. That's another bookstore that's kind of come and gone. Or the other one, BAM, Books a Million. But she was kind of a coordinator who set up those live events and stuff like
Oh,
that.
and I don't. Oh, why'd you do
I
that? Now,
don't, yeah, no, I don't remember. We met her just once or twice, and we had her on the show once or twice. I do not remember her name. Um, but I think she was on in conjunction with our old friend Randy Wayne White. Now, there's an author. Um, but anyway, that's who. I don't even know if those positions exist anymore because, most of these bookstores are, they're not the huge, thriving mega businesses they used to be. They're doing well, but they're not like huge. So anyway,
now,
don't know.
now,
Don't know.
now- and here's a problem for me. I found out too. It's not
Yes.
really a problem, but like a lot of these bookstores won't let you come in because my book is available on Amazon.
That doesn't, I mean, I hear you. And I guess if I was a bookstore and I knew that people were going to come in to see BJ Odom, but we're just going to shake his hand and going to leave and then go buy the book on Amazon. Yeah, I think I might not
Well,
like
normally what
that.
you do though, you bring your own copies, and they still get a percentage of what you sell.
So you're basically just handing the bookstore money for the ability to sit there and sign it and sell your books.
Yes,
Boy,
if
that's a
they,
sweet deal for the
and
bookstore.
and a lot of times they won't even accept most of these books that if
Right.
the author does it just on Amazon, because they want to be able to go out and buy them themselves, put them in their
Right. They
stores.
want to be able to sell them. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I
But
don't know
I
how that's going to
understand
work
that.
out. So I'm going to
Kind of a
really,
pay to play sort of thing. You
yeah,
want to come in.
I think we should, I think you should come along with me, and we should record a podcast, and we should do a book signing at Mel. I still say Mel's Diner is the place to be.
I it's only been 25 years. I don't know if anybody is good other than manager Bill. Nobody's
Yeah,
going to
he'll be
remember
there.
BJ and Bill.
I doubt any of the waitresses are still there.
Of course not. They weren't born when we were doing our show. Still, cool idea. Great idea. I don't know how successful it would be, but if you did some heavy duty publicity beforehand, yeah, it might. I mean, you've got thousands of Facebook friends and stuff like that. There might be something there. You never know. You never
But
know.
I think my main focus is going to be trying to find radio stations and podcast.
Absolutely podcasts. Absolutely.
And
And you
I
can
I would
go
think
ahead.
of television too, like maybe a few television. But look at this mug. I, I want to sell books. I don't want people to go, oh my God, I ain't going to read anything. Oh my God, why is that even on my television? Quick, turn it off, turn it off. I can't take this.
No, I don't know how many TV stations would. I mean, you would think that one or two of the Southwest Florida TV stations would do it just as a remember when kind of a thing,
Oh.
you know.
But I don't even hardly know any reporters anymore. There's a few I know, but not many.
Didn't you say our old friend Kelly is still doing that?
Yeah, Kelly's still on.
Right. That's about it, though.
Lois
That's about,
Tomei.
because again, they're all young people and they don't remember. But you might make sense. No matter what you say, my answer is going to be podcasts. Absolutely. Have you used or have you thought to use like ChatGPT to say, go out and find me a list of 20
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
podcasts that focus on and name your audience,
Well, right now I got to write and I'll have Chat GPT help me with that too. I need to write like the 1-page thing that
Yes.
you would
Summary.
send out,
Yes.
and I'll send out emails and we'll see where they land.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
just say, who wants to talk about this on my podcast?
I get
And
it.
I don't know how many, like you and I, we kind of just, chat with ourselves
Yes.
about the good old days and
Yes.
things going, because we kind of do it like our radio show.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't had that many guests over the years.
No, we haven't. But don't limit yourself there, because honestly, most of the podcasts I listen to do have guests. Now, some of them are pretty, high-powered shows with, best-selling authors, and that I get it. I mean, we can't all be Joe Rogan with, Trump and Elon and all that. We're not getting that kind of guest. But if you're doing a podcast about your thing, organ transplantation, or, those kinds of, people who survive, whatever your story happens to be, I think there's probably 100 not 100, but there's probably a dozen podcasts out there that would love to have somebody like you as a guest. Love that. Because you fit their demographic.
Now, also that I have found there are people out there that will get you podcast to be guest on.
Yes.
But then I find out they're like, which you got to sell a hell of a lot of books if you're going to pay them like $500 a month.
Yes. I've seen those. I've come across those folks. Absolutely. Yes.
And I was thinking, oh, that's a good idea. And then I see what the cost is. I go, I don't know if I would ever sell that many books.
A lot. I actually did. I interviewed a guy, and I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember the name. And he actually wrote a little book exactly about what you're trying to do, which is how to get onto podcasts and introduce yourself and all of that to market whatever it is you are doing. So if I can, as I look back over my shoulder, there's my bookcase.
Yeah, that's a big bookcase. That might take you an hour.
And see if I have anything from this guy, or if I can remember his name. I will see if I have any kind of a handout from him, and I will send it over to you, of course.
I wonder if I could get on the Practical Path podcast.
On the Practical Path podcast.
It's about spiritual growth.
Yes, and personal development.
Yeah, so that might be something I might be able to talk to the host about and maybe get a shot. I don't know though.
I will speak to the host of that show. Co-host. There's two of them, actually. There's two.
I hear the guy is a real stickler, and he's kind of hard.
I think the term you're looking for is pain in the ass. But
yeah, that's what I've heard that too. But I didn't want to use that language.
Yes. But the lady is an angel. She's lovely.
She's a little sweetheart. So maybe I can get it past her.
All right, smart guy. Let's take a quick break.
And Miss Vicky's all right, but that guy she's got with her, oh man, he's scary as hell.
Troll, an absolute troll. All right, stand by. Go refill you. Just go take something that'll make you nicer, okay? Just go have a drink of something that will turn you into somebody nice. Good luck with that. We will be right back. Welcome back. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast, episode 159. Holy cow. And if you would like to, we would love it if you would leave us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, you name it. We are there. And wherever it is, I'm sure there will be the opportunity for you to leave a review. So feel free to do that. We'd love it. And if you'd like to get in touch with the show, visit us on our Facebook page. Just do a search for BJ and Bill, the podcast. You have to kind of do the podcast thing. And same with the email, BJ and Bill, the podcast at gmail.com. There you go. But the 5-star review is the most important part. So there you go.
Yeah. We need those 5-star reviews.
We do. We really do. Any podcast does, but we do especially. I think, speaking of podcasts, because obviously you've done your own podcast. Obviously you are a radio personality, so you wouldn't, if somebody had you on a podcast, they could at least know that you weren't going to spend an hour going, I don't know.
Well, as you and I both know, we used to always love those interviews that would come in and you would ask them a question like, so you've written a book? Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. So what is your book about? It's a memoir about me. But what does it cover? I was sick as a kid, and it just takes the whole thing.
Exactly.
And you're going, tell me something,
give us, just throw us a bone here. Come on. So yes, that's my point. If I were you, if I was BJ Odom, I would make sure that the podcasts you were getting in touch with knew that this is, a broadcasting veteran, a podcasting veteran, somebody who can speak and talk and put 2 words together and all of that sort of a thing. So yeah, because that's like you said, we don't, what's the worst thing that you got? Terrible guests. I remember live on the radio when I was in Phoenix. Remember that guy now this was before the internet, way before the internet. There was that guy who did the late night infomercials. What was it? Matthew Lesko. Good God, I remember that name. And he wrote a book every year. It was like a phone book of all the programs and stuff that would give you free money and free stuff from the government and all of that stuff. And he did an infomercial. Yeah. And he wore the suit that it was like, he looked like the Joker. I mean, colors and symbol and everything. I interviewed him live once in Phoenix. And I think I opened the interview with, hey, here's Matthew Lesko, who's written this. Hey, how's it going? And a half an hour later, I said, our guest for today has been.
Yeah. Those are the people you want.
Those are the ones you want. Those are the ones. It's like, okay, that was easy.
Now, even my son said probably, in this one pager that I'm putting together.
Right.
He said, you should also put maybe 10 questions that they can ask me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He goes, and people are like, oh, I don't even have to do any work. All right.
Oh my gosh. When I was in Phoenix, I did a lot of that sort of. I interviewed a lot of people. Of course, those were back when our public service programs were on the air, when that was a thing, when you had to have a public service show. And yeah, I loved that. They'd send you the book. It was an autographed copy of the book. They'd send you a page with the author's biography with questions about him or her. And then they'd send you another page of questions from the book. And oh, by the way, we answer it on page 53 if you'd like to read it. And it's like, oh my God, thank you for making my life so easy.
That sounds like they have a great publicist.
They have a great public. Well, they did back 25 years ago. Yeah. Nowadays, I don't know. Not so much.
That's what I need. I need a great publicist.
You do. You really do.
I don't know where you find one of those at though, but that's what I need.
Nowadays it costs money is the problem. That's the challenge there.
Maybe I should just say, hey, Chat GPT, can you be my publicist?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you wanted, I mean, you could describe the thing, here's who I am. Here's what I have written. You don't have to tell Chat GPT that it's not that it's so whatever. So, what in today's environment, in today's marketing environment, what are some of the best ways I could, to publicize and market the book, et cetera, et cetera. It would probably tell you all the same things though. Local radio, TV, newspaper appearances, podcasts, social media posting, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I get it.
I don't want to be negative about myself.
No.
But I'm thinking, really the BJ and Bill show, as far as radio wise, has probably been, 20 years, since we've really So when I do go out there, even if I go to Fort Myers,
Right.
will people like, who the hell is he? I didn't live here in Fort Myers. I never even heard of the guy before. He was somebody that I should know.
Yeah, that's uh,
I hate to say this word, but I will. I feel I'm a has been.
well, you're not a has-been, but you're definitely not on the top of, what did we used to say in the marketing business? Top of mind awareness. You're not like on the top of, like when people get into the car, they used to. They don't anymore. I don't get into the car and turn on the radio and think, oh, I want to listen to my favorite radio personality, my favorite DJ, whatever anymore. Nobody does that anymore because those jobs don't exist anymore. But back in our day, they did. Mom or dad would get into the car and the minivan, taking the kids to school, and they would put on the BJ and Bill show, and they knew they knew what they were getting. They knew that it was going to be good music and funny and fun stuff, and there wasn't going to be any cursing, and nobody was going to. So
And that
whatever.
was rough on me. I just want to say all the people that listened to us back then that now listen to the podcast, that was one of the hardest things for BJ to do. And the main reason Bill was hired was so he could control BJ. So he didn't like go off the rails. It was his job to keep the train on the rails. How,
Perhaps
how hard was that job, Bill Steve?
it was yeah, there was there was the occasional kind of had to okay, the cat's out of the bag now. It's like, okay, we're gonna it's time to whip him back into shape. But yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. It was fun. We had a great time.
Did Jim Rappert ever pay you extra money for that, or how did
No,
that?
but now that you mention it, I should have probably gotten a hell of a lot of more money for that, but I didn't. What's up with that? So anyway, publicity. Yes. I mean, you got a good story marketing is telling stories, period. Selling stuff, marketing stuff, telling a good story, and you have a good story. So now, how do we get that out there? And social media is obviously the thing, obviously. So you're going to want to do a lot of that. You're
Well,
going to
there
want
were-
to ramp up your Facebook and your Instagram and all of the things that you can do. Yeah.
now the only thing I will say, and now that's why I think it's so important to probably buy advertising like on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
because anymore, what do you see? You see like 20 or 30 people. It's the same 20 or 30 people all the time. There are people that's on my Facebook page that I know and I miss and I would like to hear from, but I never see them on my Facebook page. And that is, I don't know why that is. I know it's algorithms and all that other stuff, but it is so sad that the friends you see is probably just so narrow anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see them all. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're doing wrong, because I think you should, but I just don't get it. I don't know.
I don't understand it either. I don't know why it is that way, but it is. I notice on like Instagram, and Instagram's been changing lately. They've changed up the way the app even looks, and it looks kind of weird now, but I think it's a work in progress. But it's like if I like or give a heart to some particular post about, pick a subject, it doesn't matter, about scuba diving vacations. That's all I'm going to see now for the rest of the night is posts about scuba diving vacations. And I'm like, enough. I like the one. I don't need to see him for the rest of the night.
That's
But
kind
yes,
of like,
you're right.
even when you watch the videos, even on Facebook, it's like you watch a couple videos that are similar in style.
Yep.
And it's like I just clicked it to see what it was.
Yep.
And then I kind of scrolled and there was like three in a row. And then I don't want no more. I didn't want this, the third one.
And God forbid if you should click on an advertisement for like,
Oh,
oh, look, I want to look at these sneakers now. You're going to see sneaker ads for the next 2 weeks. Great. Congratulations.
don't even say it out loud. That's what really
Oh,
sucks.
well, yeah, that's now that you mentioned that a few weeks ago, and now my lady friend and I, we do that all the time. We're like, be careful what you talk about
Yeah.
because you're going to see it.
you can drive by something you've never went to, never wanted to go to, and mention it as you drive by. 30 minutes later, where in the hell did this ad come? Didn't we just drive
Yep.
by that place like 20 minutes ago?
Yep. Yep. So yeah, and if you, God forbid, if you use Google Maps for your navigation, which I do all the time, if I'm going somewhere I don't know, it's like all of a sudden now being asked to leave a review for this place and this place and this place. I'm like, I didn't even set foot in that, but you drove by. You drove by that place.
Now, let me ask you this.
Oh, yes.
And I do believe somehow, of course, Central Florida is different compared to a lot of other places in the country.
Yes.
Because Central Florida has, because of traffic and because it is a busy city, we have so many toll roads.
Yes.
And I swear I can be going from A to B, and I know how to get from A to B very simply without ever getting on a toll road.
Good for you.
But if I put that into my little GPS, it's taking me to at least one of the toll roads, if not two of the different toll roads. And I'm going, there's a racket here somewhere. Somewhere, somehow, there is a racket.
Somebody's
going
getting
on.
paid. Somebody's getting paid to
Yeah.
send me on a toll road, huh?
Yeah, I swear. Like I can, want to go from point A to point B here in Orlando.
Right.
And there's no toll roads. It's quick. It's easy. I know how to get there. But if I put it in my GPS just to make sure that I know where I'm turning, all of a sudden 2 toll roads pop up. Now you tell me somebody ain't getting a kickback.
Honest to God, I had never thought of that. But boy, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Somebody's making money somewhere.
And it's like, where do they, I don't get it.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. I don't want to know.
We need to go back to maps.
Go back to, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with you're driving along the highway at 80 miles an hour with 18 wheelers all around you and you're looking at a paper map. Good luck with that.
Now that's one thing I miss about Fort Myers.
What's that?
Okay, get on I-75.
Yes.
Let's say you get on I-75 in Naples.
Yes.
Go from Naples to Fort Myers. You see a few semis, not many.
Right.
And then you go from Fort Myers up to Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte.
You might see a few more semis than you did,
no doubt,
back a little bit further. But there's still very few.
No
but
doubt.
You see a little more. Now you get up past Tampa.
Oh, well, come on.
More.
Of course.
And then you get past the Florida
Turnpike.
Georgia line.
Oh, well, of course.
And then it's like, oh my God,
It's
what
all
has
semis.
happened in the last, 6 hours of my driving? I went from 2 semis every 10 minutes to 200 semis every 5 minutes. It's
You're
like
going through a much more heavily populated area. Hello. And there's lots and lots and lots of stuff that has to move to get to you. Hello.
yeah, but when you're in Fort Myers, you're at the bottom of the, you're at the bottom of the road. It's like
end of the line. That's
it's
the
like
end of the line. And
the
yes,
only
it's
thing
not
you
going to be
haven't-
that busy there.
the only thing you have in Fort Myers is those, and I don't want to say stupid because they're not, because they are doing construction, but the stone trucks. The
Oh,
ones
yeah. Oh, yeah. Gravel.
the
Yeah.
dirt and the rock. Oh. And then they've got to, never mind.
Never mind. BJ
A whole
Odom was about
different
to go
subject.
off on a rant, but never
I
mind.
know. I was. That's why I said never mind.
And look, here I am, just like old times, reeling you in. Awesome.
How many cracked windshields have I had because of those little
A
sons of
lot.
bitches?
Yeah, I know. I've done a couple in my time. We all do. That's the price of living in Florida, I think. Cracked windshield. Love bugs and cracked windshields.
You know what? I figured it would be tougher here where I am with love bugs. But I'll tell you, I think actually, I remember when I lived in Arcadia
Oh,
and worked at the Bull 106.9.
Come on.
I love that radio station. Oh my God. I couldn't even go from the radio station to my favorite restaurant in Wauchula. And at the time, I had a little white car. And I swear I could leave with a perfectly white, beautiful car. And by the time I went 5 miles to the restaurant, 5 miles back to the studio, you could look at my car and it would be completely black.
Yes. Love bug.
Like,
Yes.
when did I get the black car?
Ugh.
I remember there'd be days that I'd go to the restaurant and I'd swear I was in a major snowstorm in, like Indiana, by Lake Michigan because of those stupid love bugs.
I hear you.
Thank God
I
the
do.
season only happens twice a year and it's only there for like 3 or 4 weeks and then it's
Yes.
over. But man,
Yes.
when you're in love bug season in Florida, holy bird crap.
And obviously, not obviously, it seems as though it's not as bad now because there's not as much open agricultural, land as there used to be. But yeah, if you're still out driving, like you said, Wauchula or whatever, if you're out driving here, of course, up here, I'm a little north of that. I'm not sure that I've seen, honest to God, I saw one love bug on my windshield the other day. A lady friend and I were out driving and she goes, "Oh, look, a love bug." I'm like, one?
There had to have been 2.
Well, yes, I know there were 2. Yeah, you're right. They only come in pairs. So anyway, but the point is, I hadn't even thought of that. It's, I hadn't thought love bug thoughts for a while because I don't think I see them up here. I don't know. It's a different environment, I guess. I don't know.
I'll tell you.
All I know is I'm happy I don't see them.
I'll tell you though, DeSoto, Hardy County
Mm-hmm.
were the 2 worst counties I have ever lived in. Not the county, because I actually really enjoyed living in that area. It was just a cool area, cool people. I love the area every day but love bug season.
Yeah, I remember driving across the state more than once, several times, in that during the, and you're stopping every half hour to clean things off so you can see where the hell you're going. Because if you don't, you're, like you said, it's going to be completely blind. It's just, forget it. Yeah.
Strange thing.
What's that?
I said strange things.
Strange things. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So there you go.
I kind of missed that joke. I had a good love bug joke when I was.
You had a good love bug? Well, give it to us. What the heck?
No. It's not really BJ and Bill friendly. It was.
I see. It
was more like, club friendly.
It was late night.
Welcome to the late night show.
It was
21 and above.
It was the midnight show on the cruise after the midnight buffet, and the comedian gets to do his, shall we say, adult material.
Yeah.
Yes. That was okay, fine.
If they did the night show for every show on a cruise ship, I could have been a cruise ship comedian.
What do you mean if they? Oh, they don't do that every night anymore.
Oh, they do that, but I mean, you have to have a clean show too before you do the late night.
Right.
That's what kept me off the cruise ship, because it was so funny though, and I'll just because when we were together, as you said, we had the family friendly show.
Mm-hmm.
Part of our, our shtick was, hey, you can take the grandkids, you can take the kids to school, have on BJ and Bill, and never have to worry about explaining anything or, turning off the radio real quick. Because that's the show we did back in the day when we were on the radio. That was kind of like our little niche, and we did quite well with it.
Yes.
And so I would be out doing my comedy act. And of course, people remembered BJ and Bill, and then they go, "Oh, that's BJ. He's going to be at the comedy club tonight. I think we should go see him, Herbert." "Okay, Martha, we'll go. Let's go. That sounds like a good time." And then Martha would come up to me at the end of the show and go, "Oh my God, I didn't think the show would be anything like this." And I'd have to apologize. And most people say, "Oh, no. I know it was an adult show, but I just did not expect this."
You didn't tell them beforehand, but you didn't give them the warning, like the label.
Seriously, when I was doing comedy and doing radio,
Yes.
I took them as two different jobs.
Yes.
They weren't the same job.
Totally.
And so, yeah, I floored quite a few people in my comedy career whenever I would work. That's why I always liked being on the road. Man, when I was being on the road, it was always great because nobody came up to me after the show and goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that."
Oh, you mean when you're playing in places where people didn't know BJ and Bill, the
Yeah.
morning show? Yes,
Yeah.
I understand that. Well, sure, sure.
Everybody said, "Oh man, that was great, man. I loved your act,"
Yeah, funny stuff.
Here, oh my God, I can't believe you said those things. You talked about pee-pee tails.
Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah. Not exactly family friendly radio. So
Oh
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah. None of the. I would say, let me see, maybe 20%, maybe 30 of my act could have been considered family friendly, but the other 70%,
not
you
so
learned
much.
a lot about anatomy.
Uh, Most comedy is nowadays. Yeah. Come on. So yeah.
You know, but now when I did my kids shows,
Yes.
those were always
Of course. Of
very
course.
clean.
Of course. And I think that's one of the, I don't know how many other comedians out there. I don't know them the way I know you, but that was one of your strengths is that you had, you could do three different shows for three different audiences and it'd be that, they didn't
And
have to overlap.
because I don't know, maybe it's just something about being on the radio too. Because people would even come up to me, like after shows and say, how do you know when to say what compared to when you're on the radio and when you're on the stage? Because it's two different, totally, why don't those things slip out
Right.
on the radio? And I basically would say, your environment.
Well, of course. Of course.
When I'm on the radio, I knew what my environment was and I knew what my job was. When I'm in the comedy club, I know what the environment is. And believe me, when I first started doing comedy,
Yeah.
I tried to be kind of like clean comedy because everybody said, well, that's how you're going to get on the Tonight Show and, all the TV shows. You got to be clean. So and then I'd find out I would be the one that was bombing and all the guys that were being, little anatomy stories were like, getting all the laughs. So I said, well, heck with this. I'm going to start talking about anatomy too. I'm going to tell them dick jokes.
Oh, okay. Is that what you meant? Oh, okay. Yes. I think I know for a fact that, when you're on the radio like we were, you knew, I mean, it was your job. It was your job to know who you were talking to and what you could say, as opposed to, I mean, let's face it, most people in real life, they just talk like they talk in real life, and that's fine. That's normal, right? But being on the radio ain't normal. So, it's like when you're on a country radio station, you talk about country things. And when you're on an oldies radio station, you talk about oldies things. And when you have a family-friendly format, you talk family-friendly stuff. It's just, that's how it works. But people, that's not real life.
Well, people who know me quite well, and maybe I shouldn't say this because we have people that just know me from the BJ and Bill show that listen to this podcast. But in real life, if you talk to BJ Odom and you're in a restaurant or a bar, or we're just shooting, just jabbering, you're going to hear a few F-bombs get dropped in the conversation because that's the way I talk. And people would ask me, how do you go on the radio? And not do that. I go, because you know your environment.
My point exactly. But I mean, that's, where you're at and what you, and it's, I don't want to say it's like being like an act, but for some people it kind of is. I mean, if you ever talked to Howard Stern live and in person, he would be nothing like he was on the radio because that was his act. That was his shtick. That was his thing. And in real life, was he like that? Maybe a little, but not a lot. No. So it's the same with anybody.
And that's
on the radio.
We'll use him as an example here. Howard Stern did his morning radio show for years and years and years on terrestrial radio.
Yes.
And it was, shock jock radio.
Yes.
He went for, I don't know how many years, but for 2-3 years, he did America's Got Talent as one of the judges.
Yes.
And I thought he was probably going to be riding the edge the entire time, and the censors were going to be standing behind him going, oh, no, 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 no.
Right.
And his personality was 100% different. It was like, this guy's like a nice guy. He's being respectful. He's being,
right.
And it even shocked me watching him on America's Got Talent. And so I think that's kind of it. You know your environment. And if you're an entertainer or a radio, television person, you know what goes where, and you just learn, yeah, this is the way we operate.
This is the show we're on. This is what the show, this is what works. This is what doesn't. You have, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, and again, that's for people who have never been in that business, but think, well, BJ and Bill must be like that out. Now, I will say, for the most part, we kind of were like what you got on the radio kind of was what you got in real life, especially for me. Maybe not, BJ, like he said, a couple F-bombs here and there. Bill, not so much. But still, with other radio people and TV people, it's like, it's completely different. And we just, you mentioned Howard Stern. He wasn't alone. It was, that was more normal. I would say that was more of the norm than BJ and Bill, who were more like what you got. So what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah. We still kind of keyed on our actual real life.
Yes.
Personalities. We just controlled, I should say, I just controlled my language a lot better when we were on the radio.
And it all worked out just fine. All right, good.
Although I felt very good yesterday, I was talking to an old friend of mine who was, quite religious, which nothing wrong with that. I love religion, blah, 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 blah. But I know that he's like, pretty strict in his religion. And we were talking about the football game.
Right.
And he's got a couple small children, like 8, 10 years old, something like that, 7, 8. I don't know, but they're still young children. And he was saying, oh man, we were screaming here at the house. How are you doing? I go, well, I was screaming too, but I don't think you would have wanted me around your kids. And I loved what he came back with. Well, we might have been screaming some of the same words you were too. So it would have been okay. And I'm going, oh, that's nice. That's nice
there you go.
Hear.
There you go.
I shouldn't have been talking about religion. They're going to come get me.
He's getting all choked up about it. Well, good thing we're coming to yet the end of another hour of BJ and Bill, the podcast. It's unbelievable, folks, how these things just slide right on by. So anyway, what are you doing this week? Anything?
No, I really only have one. Well, I have 2 things tomorrow, both doctor related.
Of course.
But the rest of the week, it's my wife. She's going to all her doctor and stuff.
Wow. Okay. Well,
and hopefully by the end of the week, fingers crossed, you'll be able to go to Amazon, be able to go to and pre-order. And then I think it's either October 10th or October 15th will be the release date. And whatever it is, the 10th or the 15th, it'll say right there when you order the book, you may order it and you expect things the next day on Amazon Prime.
Right.
It's not going to get there until the day the book officially drops. And I think it's either the 10th or the 15th of October.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's fine. And of course you and I got to talk because we got a website to build here too.
Yeah, we better get going, buddy.
Yeah, really. Pre-order kind of a website. So there you go. All good. Well, you'll need your Amazon page first. So we need somewhere to send people, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. All right. Awesome. Have a great week, everybody. I hope your football team continues to win, no matter who it might be or where they might be. We're enjoying it.
I'm just taking an extra heart rate pill before the game even starts next week.
I think that's good advice. Good advice.
And then they'll either win or lose by a lot, and I wouldn't even need to take the extra pill.
But better safe than sorry, as we always say. All right. You take care, BJ Odom. Everybody else as well. Have a great week. We appreciate you. We love you for stopping by, as always. But until next week, it's just up to BJ Odom to say,
see ya!
Flip the dial, take a ride back in time when the airways were golden and the DJs shine. 2 mics, 2 guys, and a whole lot of laughs. Living like legends, bringing stories back. No script, no rules, just telling it all.